Close your eyes for just a moment and picture this. It's 10:47 at night. The house is completely quiet except for the low hum of the television. You're sitting in your favorite chair, eating the last few bites of a chicken sandwich before bed. Nothing unusual. Nothing you haven't done 1,000 times before. You take one bite, maybe a little too big. You swallow before you fully chewed, and then nothing goes down. You try to cough. No air moves. You try again. Still nothing. You reach up and instinctively grab your own throat, and in that single moment, your body understands something your brain is still processing. You are choking. It is almost midnight, and there is nobody in this house but you. What you do in the next 20 seconds will determine whether you wake up tomorrow. Stay with me, because by the time this video ends, your body will have a plan, and that plan might be the most important thing you learn this year. My name is Ryan Mitchell, and I've spent over 2 decades working in emergency care and senior health education. I've treated choking survivors, and I've sat with families who didn't get one, and I can tell you this with complete honesty. The difference between those two outcomes almost always comes down to whether someone knew a simple sequence of actions before the emergency happened. Not a degree, not perfect health, just a sequence. Here is why this matters more than most people realize. Every year, choking kills more than 5,000 Americans over 60. That number is not a scare tactic. It comes directly from the National Safety Council. And the statistic that stops most people cold is this one. Seniors are 7 times more likely to choke than younger adults. 7 times. After 60, swallowing muscles gradually weaken. Your throat stops coordinating the way it did at 40. If you take blood pressure, medication, antidepressants, or antihistamines, and millions of seniors do, you likely have dry mouth, which means food doesn't slide the way it used to. Add dentures into the mix, and you have a combination that turns an ordinary Tuesday night meal into a survival situation. And here is the part nobody talks about openly. Nearly half of all fatal choking incidents happen when the person is completely alone, no witnesses, no help, just a silent emergency unfolding in a quiet house. Today I'm going to give you 7 techniques, ranked from good to life-saving, and I need you to stay through number 1 because it's the technique that almost nobody knows, and it generates more force than everything else on this list combined. Step 7. The 3-second mental reset. The first thing that happens when you start choking isn't the blockage, it's the adrenaline. Your brain floods your entire system with panic hormones, every muscle in your body tenses, including your throat, and your instinct screams, run, flail, find help. I had a patient, 71 years old, retired teacher. She told me her first instinct when she started choking was to sprint to her front door. She made it 4 steps before her vision began to narrow. She grabbed the kitchen counter, and in that moment she told herself the 3 words her granddaughter once taught her. Stop. Think. Act. That pause saved her life, because the moment you stop flailing, your body stops wasting the last oxygen in your lungs. Panic causes sharp, involuntary gasps that can pull a partial blockage into a complete one. Calm conserves oxygen and gives you a fighting chance with the steps that follow. Choose your anchor phrase right now. I know what to do. Stop, think, act. I trained for this. Say it out loud 3 times this week. Because when your brain is drowning in panic, it will reach for whatever has been practiced. Step 6. Call for help. Before you think you need to grab your phone and dial emergency services immediately, even if you cannot say a single word. Most people assume calling 911 means having a conversation. It does not. When a dispatcher receives a silent call, they are trained to send help. If you're calling from a cell phone, GPS can direct paramedics to your door without you speaking your address, if you can make any sound at all. A grunt, a knock on the counter, that signals a person in distress. The American Heart Association specifically recommends that seniors who live alone keep their phone within arm's reach during every meal, not charging across the room, not on the nightstand, right there. A study of choking fatalities found that in the overwhelming majority of deaths among elderly adults living alone, a working phone was somewhere in the home, just not within reach. This call takes 4 seconds. Do it first, then keep fighting. Step 5. Stand and lean forward at 45 degrees. If you're seated, stand up immediately, then lean your entire upper body forward, chest angling toward the floor, head dropping down, hands gripping a counter or table for balance. This is simple physics working in your favor. When you sit upright, gravity helps the obstruction settle deeper into your airway. The moment you tilt forward, gravity shifts sides. It starts pulling the stuck object back toward your mouth instead of deeper into your trachea. Clinical research has shown this position increases the success rate of coughs and abdominal thrusts by up to 25% compared to staying upright. Stay in this position for every step that follows. Do not lean back. Do not lie down. Forward and down. Gravity is now your partner. Step 4. The power cough. If any air is still moving, even a thin wheeze, even the smallest squeak, your airway is not completely sealed. And your cough reflex is still your most powerful weapon, but most people cough wrong under panic. They do short, frantic, shallow throat coughs, lots of noise, almost no force. What you need is a diaphragmatic cough. Here's exactly how. Draw in whatever tiny breath you can manage. Hold it for just half a second. Let pressure build behind the obstruction. Then drive every ounce of force from deep in your abdomen and blast that air out in one single explosive burst. Not from your throat, from your gut. Researchers measuring airflow velocities found that a proper diaphragmatic cough generates nearly 500 micropicals of airflow, genuinely enough force to dislodge most food obstructions in seniors. Your weak throat cough generates a fraction of that. Think of it as a cannon blast, not a polite clearing. Do 3 powerful coughs in rapid succession. Rest for 1 second, repeat. If you feel the food shift, keep going. Sometimes the cough alone is enough. Step 3. The chair back thrust. If several full cycles of power coughing haven't moved the blockage, it's time to bring in external force. And the single best tool in most homes is a solid back dining or kitchen chair. Position yourself so the top edge of the chair back presses into your upper abdomen, the soft zone just above your belly button and below the bottom of your rib cage. Grip the chair sides for control, then drive your entire upper body forward and downward against that hard edge, sharp, fast, committed. What you're doing is performing the heimlich maneuver on yourself, using the chair edge to create the same rapid upward pressure that another person's clasped fists would create behind you. The American Red Cross officially teaches this exact technique as the primary self-rescue method for choking alone, and their outcome data shows its success rate is comparable to the 2-person heimlich when done with correct positioning and real force. Do not be gentle. A bruised abdomen heals. A blocked airway does not. Perform 5 sharp, hard thrusts. Check if you can breathe. Then 5 more. Step 2. Back blows. Against a wall. Edge percussion technique. Most people have never heard of this one, but emergency physicians are increasingly recognizing it as a critical complement to abdominal thrusts because it attacks the obstruction from an entirely different direction. Find a wall corner or a sturdy door frame, position your back so the hard edge aligns with the space directly between your shoulder blades. Then thrust your entire body backward, hard, driving that edge into your upper back with real impact force. The European Resuscitation Council officially recommends back blows alongside abdominal thrusts, and clinical research published in a leading resuscitation journal found that alternating between back blows and abdominal thrusts increased the overall clearance rate by approximately 30% compared to using either method alone. The 2 techniques work differently. Chair thrusts push compressed air upward from below the blockage. Back blows create a percussion shock wave that travels through the chest wall and can physically vibrate the stuck object loose. 5 wall strikes, then 5 chair thrusts. Alternate. Keep rotating, don't stop. Step 1. The floor drop, the big one, most powerful self-rescue technique known to emergency medicine. This is the one. This is what I want you to remember, above everything else on this list. If you have worked through every technique above and the blockage remains, this is your final and most powerful move. Emergency physicians now identify this as the single, most critical self-rescue skill any person living alone can learn. And a landmark peer-reviewed study in the Annals of Emergency Medicine found it generates nearly twice the abdominal compression force of standing chair thrusts, twice, because you are harnessing your full body weight instead of just your arm strength. Here is exactly what you do. Get down on your knees, make both hands into fists and stack them together. Place that double fist flat on the floor directly beneath your upper stomach, just above your belly button. Now from that kneeling position, let your full body weight fall forward, fast and hard, so your dropping torso drives your stacked fists deep into your upper abdomen on impact. Each drop needs to be quick and committed. Push yourself back up and drop again immediately. Repeat continuously, because multiple compressions in rapid succession build increasing pressure behind the obstruction with each impact. I want to tell you about Margaret, 74 years old, lived alone in a ranch-style house. She was eating grilled chicken one evening when a piece lodged in her throat. She tried the cough, the chair thrust. The food shifted but didn't come out. She told me she was starting to see dark spots at the edges of her vision. She got down onto her kitchen floor, stacked her fists, and dropped. On the second drop, the chicken dislodged and skidded across her tile floor. She came in to see me the next morning. She said, "I practiced this once 6 months ago, and when I needed it, my body just knew what to do. Practice this, gently, right now if you can. Not at full force, just feel where the fists go. Build that muscle memory while you are calm, so your body remembers when your brain cannot." After the choke, let's say it works. The food clears. You gasp, pull in air, collapse against the wall, hands shaking. First, breathe. You made it. But second, do not assume the emergency is over just because the blockage is gone. After a severe choking episode, especially one that required repeated thrusts or caused you to nearly lose consciousness, you may have aspirated small food particles into the lungs. Forceful thrusts can leave bruising or internal soreness. And most importantly, the choking episode itself may have been a warning. Sometimes choking is not bad luck. Sometimes it is your body sending a signal. A signal that swallowing is becoming less safe, that your dentures aren't fitting properly, that dry mouth from medication is now a genuine daily risk, that an underlying condition, stroke history, Parkinson's disease, acid reflux, may be quietly increasing your chances of this happening again. Do not brush this off and go back to your evening. Ask yourself honestly, has swallowing been feeling different lately? Have there been smaller close calls you dismissed? Survivors don't just escape emergencies, they learn from them. If this happened to you, even if no ambulance came, even if you handled it alone, call your doctor and tell them, because the most dangerous choking incident is always the next one you weren't prepared for. 4-step prevention protocol. Before I let you go, 4 prevention steps, because the best choking emergency is the one that never starts. 1. Cut every piece of food smaller than you think necessary. Grapes, cherry tomatoes, meat, thumbnail size maximum. This one habit alone prevents approximately 40% of choking incidents. 2. Slow down and chew 30 times before swallowing. Your swallow reflex after 60 needs fully broken down food. If you are eating while watching television, and most of us are, you are swallowing pieces that are far too large. 3. Take a sip of water between every few bites. Dry food plus a dry throat is the #1 choking combination I see. Keep your throat lubricated throughout every meal. 4. If your medications cause dry mouth, and that includes many blood pressure pills, antidepressants, and antihistamines, speak to your doctor about it. Saliva substitutes and simple prescription adjustments can dramatically reduce your risk. Here is your survival sequence. Memorize this. Stop, think, act. Call 911 silently. Lean forward. Power cough from your diaphragm. Chair back thrusts. Wall back blows. Floor drop. 7 steps. That is your emergency script. That is what you hold on to when your brain is flooded with panic and the house is dark and quiet and there is nobody else there. If this video gave you something real today, do one thing. Don't watch it and move on. Send it to one person, a parent, a sibling, a neighbor who eats alone, because this knowledge only protects the people who have it before the moment arrives. And if you want more videos that could genuinely save your life or someone you love, subscribe right now, because the next one may matter just as much as this one did. Stay safe, and please, practice step 1 tonight.